Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. As I was shuffling, getting ready for the reading, a mantra came to me. It's very simple, but it's coming through for somebody. I live beyond illusions. I live beyond illusions. And that's something about you, is that you do live beyond illusions. So this mantra will just fortify and support your already clear vision. You see things clearly. And a part of the beauty of that is that it's a choice to see things clearly. Because sometimes people project illusions and they send things our way, facades. They want us to see things from a different perspective or to see people differently from how they truly are, and they do that through spell work. But sometimes people intentionally choose to see an illusion. You don't do that because you align with truth. And that's something that is so beautiful about your soul, is that you would rather see a painful truth than a sweet lie. And that's one reason why you are here and lovely and abundant and growing and you're so beautiful, is because you choose to see beyond illusions. So that came through. Ashe, let's go ahead and pull a card from the Empath Oracle. Thank you, Divine. What's coming through for this beautiful being? Examining self-identity. This is card 22. You've done this throughout your relationships and connections with other people. In fact, you have used your experiences with other people, whether they've been positive, negative, high vibe, low vibe, painful, pleasant. You have always taken the time to reflect on your experiences with other people, and you've learned about yourself and who you are from those connections that you've had, those experiences that you've had. Sometimes these experiences have led you to disconnect from a person, but you still looked at yourself because you always wanted to examine yourself and ask, who am I? You've always wanted to know yourself on a deeper level. And this is why you're such a conscious being. This is why you grow leaps and bounds. I heard that phrase in a commercial today. It was these cute little dogs on there too, because they were jumping, so they said leaps and bounds. But it came to me, it's like you grow leaps and bounds. You grow so rapidly, but you don't rush it. That's the thing, is that you grow rapidly because you're willing to take your time. And so while some people experience painful things with others, tragic things, and they spend a whole lifetime hating that person for what they did to them, stuck in a hell, in a personal hell, hating somebody for what they did to them. You might go through that Because it's natural, it's normal to go through that period of anger and even of hatred. But your goal is always to get to a place of love. And so because of that, you get to know yourself through these experiences. And so nothing that you have been through has been in vain. Nothing that you have been through has been in vain, because you're willing to ask the right questions. You're willing to ask, who am I? What has this situation taught me? What can I learn about myself? What can I learn about the world as I reflect on what I've been through? Okay, they're done with that one. They said go to the crows. Ah, Shay, y'all know I always want to go to the crows now. Birds might be speaking to you. Oh, yeah, so when you hear the crows calling and if you're hearing, it's cold in a lot of places right now, but if you're hearing bird songs in the morning or whenever they're chirping, yeah, there's a message there. You might notice that birds are speaking to you. There's something here that's not for you. This is card 6. And that reminds me, like, I'm hearing a bird call and they're saying, There's something that's not for you. It is being presented to you as an illusion. You already know what this is. You already know what this is. It's a person who wanted to defeat you, but now they realize that you're too bold of a being to ever be defeated. I'm hearing it was never going to go down like that. Whatever plan they had for you, you see how this is like a chessboard? Oh, and the growth card is up here. Oh, growth and trickery. You have grown through someone's trickery. Through someone's lies, through someone's deceit. Through the mayhem someone sent your way. This person came at you with a game. They thought that they were going to play with you. And you know, chess is a game of strategy. This person truly tried to strategize against you. Now, I don't want to trigger anyone, so trigger warning, just in case, you know. But what I'm getting is that this person wanted to tap into your, whatever they thought was your worst memory. Whatever experience they thought brought you the most pain, the most suffering, they wanted to recreate that. That's beyond demonic. That's beyond demonic. That is pure sadism right there. And this person has the nerve to, after all of that strategy that they tried there with that chess game there, that chessboard, they have the nerve to put a damn fortune cookie on a tray and bring it to you as if this was your destiny to be with them. This person is clearly lacking a lot of things. Common sense, a moral compass, emotional balance, empathy, humanity, a connection to source. Whatever it is that this being is offering you now, It is not for you. There's something that they're hiding with this hand underneath the table, and it looks kind of foggy. They're trying to come to you with some sort of offer, some sort of peace offering. What I'm getting is that their whole argument is like, I did all of this to help you transform. I brought you this pain to help you elevate and ascend. But that is a lie. Because whatever energy it was that they approached you with, they did that to conquer you. Because they were jealous and insecure. And they still are. But now it's kind of like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. They're so, deathly came to mind. They are so deathly afraid of being left behind, because this is a person who did not believe in karma when they were developing their plan of attack against you. They did not believe in karma. They thought they were the biggest, the baddest of them all. 1111 on the timer. They thought that they were going to come through a portal and blow up everything in your life. They assessed you. I'm getting that for some of you, this person studied you for a very long time, trying to create a plan, just the right strategy that would be able to take you down. And what they wanted to do with this strategy here was they wanted to, you see how this hand is holding everything up? They wanted you to build, but they wanted to do a little switcheroo where you would build something, build an empire, build a family, build a business, something that they wanted, and then they would replace you. And they would get the glory for what you built. That's what they wanted. And somehow in this strategy, what they wanted in order to ensure that you were, now I don't like this word, but it's what's coming through. They wanted to cripple you, okay? And I don't, okay, people who do not have full use of their limbs, I do not call them that. But that is what is coming through. That's the word that is coming through. So this person might talk like that. They might speak like that. Like very rude and disrespectfully, okay? But they wanted to take away your power. They wanted to take away your ability to live on your own after watching you build something that they could then take from you. That's what they wanted. And now they want a place in your world. I'm looking at this 69 here. There could be a Cancerian involved here. There could be a Capricorn involved here. Yeah, this person sees you as an anomaly, and you are. You are. The problem is not that on a deep level they see you with accuracy. That is true. The problem is that they always try to destroy you. That's the issue. Is that they always knew that you were something different. You were something unique. You were something of the cosmos. You weren't from here. Even though they told other people that this was not true, they always knew this to be true. 1414 on the timer. They knew that you're an earth angel. The problem is that while they recognized your greatness, they tried to undo your greatness. And so for this person to think that there will ever be an opportunity for them to commune with you, for them to walk with you, for them to dream with you, or in some cases this person wants to lay with you. I'm hearing that Roberta Flack song, the first time ever I saw your face, And she talks about how inspired she was. It's like the earth moved and the sun rose in your eyes. And then there's a verse where she talks about the first time ever I lay with you. Now we're in the 15th minute. This is devil energy, so this person is all in their lower self thinking about you. But they fantasize, they romanticize being with you. Now, whether this person has been with you intimately or not, this is something that they desperately want. And trust me, it's not just because of a physical attraction, it's because they want your energy. And they feel like if they can get intimately close with your physical space, that there's a certain level of spiritual union that they will never be able to be turned away from with you, that they'll always have access to. You see, this being dedicates an extremely abnormal amount of time and energy towards developing plans regarding you. So this isn't just your normal hater. This isn't just the person that jumps in the comments and has something off-putting to say. They've done that too, under many different names. If you're online, they have disguised themselves. I'm getting that this person has hundreds of fake usernames that they have used just to try to access your energy. This is the kind of person that people make movies about this level of obsession, this level of sadism. And beautiful being, the fact that you are here, living, breathing, and not only that, but in your star energy. We're in minute 17. That's why they want you still. They tried so hard to take you down. And the fact that you're still here, it's like just proof of your strength. And it makes you even more attractive to this person. Divine, what's coming through for this beautiful being to know or be aware of with this situation? What needs to be known about this situation at this time? The Moon. Now in the tarot, this is about hidden energy. But in this deck, it's about your ability to shine. It's almost like you being exposed in the most beautiful way. Like how I'm seeing it now is the things within you, the gifts, the talents, the abilities that were hidden within you are now being shared, being shown, just like the full moon. So things are coming to light in your life, but in the most beautiful way. And in a very calm, serene way as well, because I feel like whatever this was that you went through, you know, like with this examining self-identity, you went through a time where you were learning all about you, but you were doing it under pressure. You were doing it when people were combating you. You were doing it when you were under attack. And so if you could grow and expand and get to know yourself and come to love yourself and celebrate yourself while you were faced with all this trickery and mischief and sadism and hatred. Because see, let me finish my thought. Then imagine what you can do when you are in a state of serenity and peace and balance, because that's your era now, is a state of balance. You've learned how to regulate your emotions when you're under pressure, when you're being attacked, when you're experiencing, like when you're in the middle of combat. So now that you've been through that, you have created this realm of balance for yourself. Whether it's within your sacred space, within your home, within your work environment, within your creative endeavor. There could be all kinds of world wars going on around you, but you have created a space that is safe for you and those that you love, where there will always be balance because you've been through the worst of the worst. And one reason why Divine has blessed this peace and serenity is because you use your energy to then create love and a flow of abundance that goes to other people out there, that supports the collective. So, you know, it just came through that there's like all kinds of madness and mayhem going on around you. You don't forget that. You just realize that you must have peace within your own realm so that you can create and flow and love and then channel healing energy to the mayhem out there. Whoever it's for, whoever will receive it. That's why Divine is blessing your sacred space. That's why Divine is blessing your home, your family, your loved ones. That's why Divine is blessing your business, your creative endeavor. It's because you use your energy to heal. And you started right. You started it the right way. See, there's somebody here who wanted to take your place as a healer, as a lover. I'm hearing as a wife, as a mother. Could be as a husband, as a father. Could be as a brother, as a sister. There's somebody who wanted to take your space. They wanted to take your place, but they weren't willing to start where they needed to, which was with themselves. The reason why Divine is blessing you so deeply, so abundantly, is because you were always willing to examine your own self-identity, to ask the right questions about what you needed to do to heal within. You were not afraid of the quote-unquote dirty work, and I call it that because it's the work that nobody wants to do. It's actually the purest work that we can do, because it's what everybody needs to do. But everybody wants to start looking at everybody else, pointing the finger at everybody else, and skipping over the healing work that needs to be done within ourselves. 2222 on the timer. That is why you are being so divinely blessed at this time. And that's why your blessings are unshakable. Your blessings can't be blocked. I will never forget seeing Miss Patti LaBelle talking about, I think she wrote a book called Don't Block Your Blessings. And I've been using that phrase ever since. And it's like, I've always thought of that. Like, let me not block my blessings. Like, you know, is my frustration blocking me from something? Am I being envious of somebody right now? Let me not block my blessings. Let me clear this up right quick. You know what I'm saying? But you have arrived to a place, beautiful being, where your blessings cannot be blocked. You can't even block them because you are aligned with truth. Your soul is so pure. So even if there were a temporary blockage, it's like perhaps there used to be a time where you would need the intervention of a divine spirit to come and be like, hey boo, what you doing? You know, you sure you want to be vibing right there? But now you are so self-aware that you know you can feel that shift when you get into a space where you're just like, oh, I'm not where I need to be right now. I'm not where I need to be right now. You can immediately feel the blockage. And so you work through it. You rise above that energy. And what's coming through is that at the very beginning of the reading, remember, Divine said they recommended the mantra, I live beyond illusions. I live beyond illusions. That could be a blockage that somebody is trying to present for you. I feel like it's this energy of this person who was trying to be so smart and so strategic and trying to win against you, and now they're coming with a damn fortune cookie. The nerve. No, you have been through too much. You have seen enough of this person. 2444 on the timer. I'm also getting that there's some sort of beautiful endeavor, or I'm hearing for some of you empire. You might have your empire already set up, love. But there's something within your world. It could even be your family life. It could be your home. But there's something that this person wants access to and they want to be a part of it. But what I'm seeing is like, it's almost like they want a job interview with you. It's like they want to present themselves at, you know how you do on a job interview, or how some of us used to do when we were out there. But you know, you put your suit on and you know, you get a little, you try to appear very professional. That's what this person is doing. It's like they have selected a mask that they think is going to work in order to convince you to allow them to come on board. I don't know why I'm hearing Ozzy Osbourne, all aboard, crazy train. Yeah, that's the crazy train. They are certainly on a crazy train if they think that you are going to let them on board on your train. Okay? Crazy train all day. That's perfect. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah. If they think they getting up on your train, absolutely not. So whatever this plan is that they have of trying to present themselves in their best way, like what they don't realize is that you interviewed this person. I want to call them something else. Thank you, Spirit. Let's keep it pure. You interviewed this person a long time ago. You were interviewing them when you were just observing their foolishness. You have seen everything that you needed to see of this person. You have seen their resume, their cover letter, their job history, and nothing checks out. Nothing checks out. It's all crazy. And so just the simple fact that this person developed such a strategic plan to attack you, why would you then allow this person to take up any space in your realm? When you have developed peace within and around you, you have come to terms with things that perhaps within your world were hidden, that you needed to observe and shed light on. Now that full moon is shining, that full moonlight. You got all kinds of beautiful moonbeams shining on everything in your world, and it's peaceful, it's serene. And you would never gamble with the blessings that you have built right along with the divine. You have co-created a world of beauty with the universe. And now this person, this demonic, devilish, sadistic being who wishes nothing but evil on everyone. I don't care what smile they come to you with. It's plastic. It's a plastic smile. It's fake. It's phony. Because with this person not having done the work that they need to do on themselves to heal their own wounds of abandonment, of rejection, of neglect, of abuse, of all of that they experienced, with them not being willing to heal that pain and to release that that hatred that they feel for the person or the people who have harmed them, they're just projecting all that pent-up anger, that pent-up energy that they have towards every single person that comes along in their life that they feel any bit of envy towards. And they hate that you do the work. See, there's actually something that you and this being have been through that's very similar, very painful. But the fact that they wanted to recreate that scenario for you, that painful memory, they wanted to recreate that for you, that just tells you everything that you would ever need to know about that person. 2911 on the timer. They wanted to recreate 2911, something that you went through that was very traumatic. That's what they wanted to do. Why would you ever reinvite that into your life? So yes, they are on the crazy train and they are delusional. 2929 on the timer. You are the key. Now that's one reason why this person wants back into your realm, is because they see you as the key. When I was putting my makeup on, I meant to look up that story. It's somebody that wanted to be healed by Christ, and they said, I know my mom would always sing a hymn. It's if I could just touch the hem of his garment. So this person who was around in one of the towns that Christ was in when he was doing his work on earth, they wanted to just touch the hem of his garment. They knew that if they did that, they would be healed and set free from whatever illness it was that they had. That's how this person sees you. They recognize your Christ consciousness. They know your healing power. They know that you have the power to heal and to help people set themselves free from their trauma. They know that you have that power, and they want to get into your world. But the problem is that they haven't known if they wanted to take you out or admire you. So since they can't decide, you're going to move right along in your abundance. This fish card signifies abundance. And you're not stopping. You're not stopping to assess this person, to assess whatever it is that they're bringing you, because we already know it's not for you. Whatever it is that they're trying to present is not for you. But what is for you is your prosperity, is your abundance, is your ability to flourish. As the star. Also, this person has a lot of anger that they have not worked through. And that anger is just a ticking time bomb. Now, what I'm getting is that it's not going to explode on anyone but themselves and anyone who chooses to remain aligned with them. So it's come through. If this is, it feels like a similar energy to some of the previous readings, okay? What's coming through is that based on some of the previous readings, if they're connected for you, this person has lost a lot of the people that were under their power, okay? This is a control freak. This is a person who, if they don't wake up controlling somebody, if they don't go to bed feeling like they're in control of somebody other than themselves, they're in control of everybody, so they thought, but themselves. And that's the problem. They were always seeking control over the wrong people or wrong person. 3232 on the timer. If they had just looked within for 5 minutes a day, it doesn't take that long. If you're willing to look within yourself 5 minutes a day and just reflect, who am I? What responsibility do I have in this situation? What can I take accountability of? And see, what a lot of people don't even realize is that taking accountability feels refreshing, because there's so many things in this world that you can't control. Everybody has free will, so that means that you can't control everybody. But when you take accountability for your actions, you take control of what you can take control of. So it's actually very refreshing. But what stops people from taking accountability is a fear of shame. They don't want to be wrong. They don't want to feel like they messed up. But if they would stop and realize everybody messes up, it's what you do with that mess up that matters. And you can turn a mess up into $1 million. You see what I'm saying? But you can't do that unless you take accountability. So this person will always lose, as long as they're taking this anger and projecting it towards other people. But what's happened now is that the people that they used to project this energy towards, they've stepped to the side because they're seeing the truth of this person. They're seeing the truth of who they are, and they're not willing to be enslaved by their control anymore. So this person is beginning to, all of their energy is imploding. It has nowhere to go. They don't have anywhere to project their bullshit anymore. It has to come back to themselves. It's like everything that this person does now is an automatic return to sender. It doesn't even matter who they're working with. It could even be a person who's not really aligned with truth, and what, it doesn't matter. Their negative energy, this person who is trying to come to you and be accepted into your world, the same world that they tried to make crumble, Every single bit of energy that they tried to send out into the world, it's coming back to them in the very same way that they meant it. Tenfold, at least tenfold. They're living in an automatic return to sender energy. Everything that they send out there is coming right back to them. And so that's why they're not going to last. They're not going to last. They're not going to last because they're operating under this energy where they want to control, where they want to ruin someone. And I'm seeing these two cards here, the bear and the star. They had so much anger that they were projecting towards you. So much. And now they realize that they've harmed no one but themselves because you chose to alchemize all of that. And the fact that you chose to grow from the trickery that they sent, that doesn't make them a star. That makes them a villain. And they're going to have to live with that. They're going to have to live with that and die with that. Because this karma that they have created for themselves, it's not going anywhere. They have created so much karma for themselves that there's not enough for them to process in this lifetime. So the things that they have done to you to attack you in this lifetime will remain with them in future lifetimes as well. They have already cursed themselves in the next lifetime at least. At least. So, let's see where Divine is guiding you to move forward, in what energy. I'm being drawn to the Crow Tarot. And then maybe the Journey Oracle cards. I love those cards. Because I feel like this is a really good, like, I don't even know if it's so much a warning, but it's just like, you know, these energies try so hard. And they try so diligently. They're diligent in all the wrong things. They're diligent with their evil, right? If they would be that diligent with healing and growing and learning to love themselves, then they would not have to hate everyone else. So with them constantly trying, it is good to have a reminder that this energy is still not for you. A lot of times as an empathic being, we can feel like tempted to go back to those old paradigms of what forgiveness used to look like in our heads, where to forgive someone, we had to repair a relationship with them and maintain a relationship with them. Absolutely not. This person is on the crazy train. So there's no way that you can be flourishing and living abundantly and in this star energy and beautiful and flowing and flourishing and growing and then be linked up with a damn crazy train. Okay? That's not your reality. This is your reality. Okay? So if there's any forgiveness that you want to participate in, all that looks like is doing what you've already been doing. Focusing on yourself, loving yourself, and choosing not to hold on to any anger that takes you away from your true self. I love doing creative things with anger. You know, if you're feeling angry, you can clean. You can angry clean. Just don't give too much stuff away or throw too much stuff out, because then a day later you're like, what did I do? Oops. You know what I'm saying? But you can angry clean. You can create. It's wonderful to create in a state of anger because you're channeling that energy, which is a frequency that so many other people are feeling. Like, and that's a part of our shadow work. For people to only want to create with love and light, like, honestly, that is so false. Because how often are we actually feeling love and light? What are you doing with all the other emotions you're feeling? Are you stuffing them? Are you like, what are you doing? So, to create in that space where maybe you're sad or maybe you're feeling angry or whatever, some of the most beautiful and resonant works can come from that state. So yeah, create. Absolutely. That's the beauty within you. That's a tool that you have within you, is your creative power to transform anger into something wonderful. Yeah, you're being seen here as the King of Swords, and then here at the bottom we have the page. Ooh, The Page of Pentacles and the Emperor. I see you taking an opportunity and turning it into an empire. It's like this coin right here becomes your empire. And who knows, maybe that coin was actually, it came from an emotion that you were feeling. Maybe it came from the anger. You transmute energy. So maybe this is an opportunity that came from something that was very painful that you experienced. Whatever, also what's coming through is whatever memory that was that this sadistic being wanted to recreate in your world in order to make your world crumble. I feel like you're working with that energy too. Like the energy of that memory. And instead of cowering in fear, which is what this sadistic being wanted you to do, they wanted to bring you back to this traumatic event in your life and have you cower and crumble. But instead, you were like, okay, you're taking me back to that memory. You're putting me back there. Okay. Well, let me look at this for a minute. What else is hurting me from that experience? What pain do I still have? What residual pain do I still have from that memory? And then you're loving on your inner child. You're transmuting anger. You're facing the person in your mind who took you through that original experience, that original pain. Maybe there was some letting go that needed to happen. Maybe, I will never forget, I worked with, because I experienced sexual assault. And I had an experience, it was about 8 years ago, where it came back to me. And it was so painful, emotionally painful to remember that happened when I was 21. And so I went to a woman, I connected with a woman, she's a healer and a beautiful, beautiful woman. And she took me through this process where I had a tennis racket. She had all this stuff set up, a tennis racket and like a bunch of pillows and stuff. And she took me back to that experience. And I was beating the pillows with this tennis racket. And that's why I say that sometimes dissociation can be a powerful thing. It can be a negative thing, okay, but it can be also a powerful tool. And I dissociated. And I was in another place. I was back in that place where I experienced that pain, that trauma. And to go through that with someone who was there watching me, making sure that I was okay, it was so powerful. It was so powerful and it was so healing. And then I was able to access different levels of healing of that original wound later by myself. But she helped me initially to revisit that experience. And so when we go through these experiences that take us back to our pain, it doesn't always mean that we're supposed to, in fact, it very rarely means that we're just supposed to be like, oh, it's okay. I remember that, it's painful, but I'm just going to shut it out. A lot of times it's an invitation to experience a deeper level of healing. And so when we allow these people, these sadistic beings who want to take us back to these painful times in our lives, it's sometimes an opportunity for us. You know, of course, it's not their place to do that, looking at it from their perspective, like who called them God? You know what I'm saying? But when we find ourselves in that situation where somebody has taken us back to a traumatic event in our lives, it can be an invitation by the divine, not by that person, but by the divine, to heal on a deeper level. So it's like there's something here about you doing that where you're taking an opportunity, which is, I'm seeing this as the Page of Pentacles, and you are tapping into your healing abilities, your knowledge as the King of Swords. There's something that you know how to do. It could be a theory you've developed of how to heal. It could be a process. It could be steps to healing. You know, I'm seeing that with the King of Swords. The King of Swords is very exact and very logical. 44 on the timer. But whatever this is that you've developed, it brings healing, but it's like methodical. It's something that could be applied to different people's situations. This is a part of your empire. Take what resonates, but this is coming through. There's something that you have access to, that you have the knowledge of how to do, that is helping you to assist a lot of people. And this is a part of who you are. This is a part of what you're building and growing. And this is a part of your legacy. Knight of Swords. Moving forward without hesitation. Speaking something. Saying something without shame. Saying something with just the right amount of impulsivity where it you're not allowing yourself to hesitate and think too long so that you talk yourself out of doing something, but you're still doing it with knowledge and understanding. You're still speaking consciously, but you're not hesitating. That helps you to build your empire. That helps you to continue to align with this energy of abundance that flourishes in your life. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit, for these messages, and thank you, beautiful being, so much for taking the time to tune in. And I hope that these messages brought you something good, something wonderful, whether it was clarity, insight, or good vibes. And I love you, and I wish you peace, I wish you joy, and so many blessings. Take care.